Hey, how are you guys doing today? So I'm a little bit late with the stream today. That's because I'm still in the middle of flying to next island. I'm about to land right now, and then we'll be going straight to ancient Greece. I do hope you guys are having a great day, by the way. Took me a little bit longer to get across space, and I didn't want to start way early in the flight. You know what I'm saying? We should be almost to land though, and then I'll get us to ancient Greece. I'm gonna stock up on the stuff first. Hold on one second. Had my mouse on things. And hope everybody's doing amazing. So I'm interested to see what we're gonna get with this crafting run on ancient Greece. I haven't really done a big texture run on ancient Greece itself. By the way, guys, I'm just barely getting back to planet, so I honestly have not got a chance to make my ancient Greece outfit, which is kind of frustrating, but you know, we'll get around to that for sure. Okay. Want to make sure to get up chat right off the bat. We'll land, I'll go over everything, and then we'll get this crafting run started. The run itself, yeah, I should be almost to hitting ground. The run itself should take about 2 hours in total, just so you guys know. And I don't know, we should pop a bunch. Let me make sure I don't have any blueprints on me. If we do, I'll store them when we land. I think I unloaded before I actually flew up into space, just because I don't carry stuff on me. So I usually double check this before I leave. But it was a long flight. I didn't think you guys had wanted me to stream the whole flight from Planet Calypso across space. 30 something AUs, the longest distance you can come across, honestly. Let's switch us to where we don't have sock chats up and other weird things. Okay, so we're a little under 2 astronomical units up. So we're closing in. I have fresh coffee. It's freaking hot. Hey, Avalonus, how you doing today? Hope you're kicking butt. I'm about to land, and then we'll get into the crafting thing. It takes a second to fly across space. I do a lot of flying. Honestly, I wish they would keep track of it somewhere like a stat to where they'd be like, you have flown, I don't know, something, the distance to something. Well, I like being welcome anywhere. I'm okay with that. Okay, finally. See how long that took? Now, technically, I don't think this is where I normally land, guys. It probably is, honestly. Who knows? Just trying to make sure we land somewhere where there's a teleporter pad. Oh yeah, we got a pad right there. Wasn't that gentle landing? Now, I'm going to tell you, out of all the vehicles that they have on this planet, this is one of the cooler vehicles that they have here, guys, just so you know. These little flying... I actually do think that's a neat vehicle. I might have to do something, get me one day. I don't know. I'm going to probably have to get me one someday. There was noise behind me, so I had to check. what the heck was going on. Okay, guys, now the next part is we're going to have to grab the construction thing. I'm gonna need a bunch of this stuff. So we're gonna be interplanetary ordering unless there's a good deal. Let me see if somebody on this planet is selling them at a good price. Nope. Nope. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're going Calypso. We're gonna need 1,500 clicks. That's a one-to-one exchange. I'm gonna order this pile, right? That's going to cost us 31. So you guys, 37 ped is what this is going to cost me. The reason it's going to cost me 37 ped is because I'm quick ordering it for 6 ped, right? So we've got 37 ped in cost right now. Now I need a really lot of these, but only a little over 1,500, right? So let's go like this. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to go for the 1,600 stack because that's definitely enough. Okay. Now go like this, boom, boom. Now what I'm going to have to do is get out of storage and make sure I have all of the basic leather things right there. And all of the leather for this crafting run right there. That's going to give us plenty for a 1,500 click thing. Now 1,500 clicks is going to be 2 hours. I would expect us to get 3 to 5 per 500 clicks. So we could have anywhere from like, I don't know, 9 to 15 blueprints at the end of this. You know what I'm saying? Which is pretty good. Let me look at this time cove. I gotta remember where the cove is. That's the time switchy place. Orpheus Cave. We're gonna go to Orpheus Cave. Okay, now in Orpheus Cave, we're gonna go in here and go to ancient Greece. And in all honesty, I think I'm gonna craft this at Sparta. Does that sound good, you guys? Probably could craft it at Thebes Market. I don't know if there's a better place or not, in all honesty, guys. And honestly, I didn't really pay attention to what we spent. It's probably around 120 pad plus some stuff. So let's call it 120 pad plus the 12. Let's call it 132 pad is probably what we spent. Now, here's the deal. We're really focusing on getting blueprints and what we're going to pop. On top of that, I'm going to flip one of these on. Now, as you can see, 1,500 is going to be 2 hours of clicky click. I'm going to set this to where we can see what blueprints we're getting. As the blueprints come in, I'm going to go over the blueprints like always. And like with all crafting videos, I'm going to click down my camera real quick. And basically, I'm going to sit here, chill out, having coffee while we see what blueprints we pop on ancient Greece. By the way, hi Kilman, how you doing today? I hope you're kicking some butt. So I'm going to get this baby going. Let's really cross our fingers. I don't have a lot of ancient Greece stuff. I'm actually not really sure what all there is available on ancient Greece. I am planning on being on ancient Greece all this week. You can tell I'm missing a whole bunch of ancient Greece blueprints. I don't know what they are though, right? So cross your fingers, guys. Let's hope this 1,500 clicky click run does well.
Okay, so that's a Cambibo blueprint. That's basic as heck. I've got Cambibo popped on almost every planet. Like, honestly, at this point, I just assume that this is just a standard, hey, there's a chance you just get that off of the basic or generic leather blueprint. So I hope you guys are all having a great day at least, right? I've honestly never seen a ancient Greece texture necessarily, specific to it. I don't know what that would be. You know what I mean? I don't know enough about ancient Greek culture that I could tell you that's distinctly an ancient Greek design. But wouldn't it be nice if there was something like that? I'm really hoping when they go to Unreal Engine, the 5 thing, the whole value of fancy, really good textures goes up, to be honest, you guys. Okay, so Subakuma, um, I assume I have that one. Honestly, I think I have this. I don't commonly get this blueprint though. So I could sell one for 2 pet, obviously, if I flew it back there. Let me look at this. I would almost bet I have it though. That's weapons. But yeah, we already have that one. So that'll sell for 2 pad. Hey, how you doing, Arthur? Hope you're having a great day. Kind of trying to find out what we can get in ancient Greece. In which I'm really crossing my fingers. I'd like to get a fancy texture, you know what I'm saying? But in all honesty, I'll take anything. I'm not actually as picky as I pretend to be. They should. 100%. Can I be honest also? They really need to get the whole gardening thing up and get domestic stuff like foods and stuff like that that gives buffs. There could be a whole freaking economy if there was a bunch of depleting limited stuff that all had buffs and stuff on it. It would be epic. They really actually would just be killing it. Plus, then the value of having a piece of land would be all different. Can you imagine if you could farm stuff and actually do something with it? Like, cook it and stuff like that? Because they have all the refrigerators and stoves and all the fancy stuff for your house, but they're basically just decorations. But imagine if you could actually cook up a batch of some limited recipe or some rare recipe and make some kind of food that gave some kind of pimp buff for a little bit. And I don't even think they should end at food, honestly. I think that there should be consumables and injectables and all kinds of stuff. Do you guys know that they have nanites and stuff? So I have a blueprint for nanites, but it's so freaking ridiculous to make, I just don't even bother making it. I think they're valuable. Like, just to be honest, I mean, it's not like a cheap value thing. If I sold them, they'd probably be worth something. But there's a nanite blueprint for it, and they give a super big boost, but it's really short-lived, and they're insanely expensive to make. When we're done with this run, if somebody will remind me, I'll pull up the nanite blueprint and I'll show you. I have one little small amount of nanite stuff, like just one blueprint right now on me, luckily, as I'm speaking of it. But nanite blueprints are super insane rare also, just so you guys know. So it's an insane rare blueprint. Honestly, I don't even know of anybody that really uses them. If I wanted to craft them for somebody, it would actually be a lot of work. And so they need to, I don't know, balance that a little better because I think people would use booster nanites and stuff like that if they weren't crazy to make. And I would have to charge somebody a reasonably high fee, you guys. I kept the blueprint, but I'll tell you guys legitimately, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing with it. I mean, like, I'll show you it at the end of the run. It'll be like, what, hour and 45 minutes or some crap like that. Oh, a long time. It'll be a long time, like almost 2 hours. But in the end, I'll show you a nanite booster. And you guys will be like, oh, well, yeah, that's definitely a craftable booster, but what the WTF on that? And there's probably better with ones than the one I have. I just don't know because I haven't popped them. And I haven't seen a giant amount of people trading nanite boosters and stuff like that. I haven't even seen a person reaching out and being like, hey, yo, do you know somebody that has the lowdown on some nanite boosters? Nah. I keep them because I'm convinced myself, basically, that one day I'm going to have some profound use for them. And I'm going to make them. and somehow they're going to be a logical decision. That, as it current sets, I don't see being realistic, but I mean, like, in my mind, part of my mind does believe that one day there will be a valid use for them. And yeah, outside of that, I would probably just put them up on a shelf in my store and let somebody buy them that does actually want to make them. But I actually haven't seen something I'm like, oh, this is where that nanite booster, that's where that's coming in right here. I just don't attack the game hard enough to need something like that, really, to be honest. By the way, nanite boosters, they're an electronics blueprint, just so you guys know. Okay, so I got some Listerium. That's basic. That doesn't really count. Honestly, I don't know Russian, so I can't actually read that. But later on, I'll Google Translate it and stuff like that, and I'll find out. I'll figure it out. But I do hope you're having a good day anyway. Man, I really do wish I knew more languages, you guys. You have no idea. Oh, I've saved some serious random stuff just for having it. So, like, legitimately, I'm not even gonna pretend to have not been naughty in this game. I'm like naughty on a level of WTF. I've got so many blueprints that there's no even way I could justify or pretend like I'm gonna ever make something with them. Like, it's just never, ever gonna happen. But yeah, I have them. I do get rid of blueprints, guys, and I do sell a lot of the more valuable blueprints that I get replicas of and stuff like that. But legitimately, I have some blueprints that I could probably really cash in on. I'm never, ever really going to make the thing. And, nah. I have compulsion on this game for blueprints. Like the other stuff I don't really give a crap about, but like there's certain things that I'm like, holy crap, that gets me. And having like things I can make or like rare things that are blueprints, I absolutely love that. I've got some insane crap in which one day, really, in all honesty, but that's like the hoarder mentality right there. That's like naughty as crap. I've been trying to slowly move stuff back, and I do fly all kinds of crap back to Calypso and we get rid of it. But even at the rate that I get rid of stuff, I'm still holy crap. The amount of inventory management that I need to do on this game is pretty impressive, you guys. But reality is we're less than 250 clicks in, and I've already got 3 different blueprint drops. So I would say overall, this is looking pretty good, just so you guys know. In fact, yeah, I hoard horribly. I even have what is this? This is the, I would assume that it's gonna be in one of these. Those are different. These are vehicles and stuff warps because some people need that stuff. So these are all stacks of these are limited stacks of stuff, and there's giant stacks in some cases. Those I sell when they get over 1,000 something, if it's not one I like. Those are subcomponents. Okay, so this is all limited furniture blueprints, you guys. All of this. Lamps, special doors, refrigerators, benches, TV screens, like all kinds of stuff. In case you need that random stuff. All the kitchen stuff. Kitchen drawers, kitchen sinks, kitchen stools. I thought I had a kitchen cabinet too, but maybe I don't. Some other random stuff. I don't know about the ceiling sphere. Some of those are boosted blueprints, just so. Yeah, I'm naughty about that too. I like Cali stuff. Oh, and see, and here's more. There's cube shelves. Those cube shelves are really popular, you guys. See, I don't make armor, but I keep on kind of skilling my stuff, and once in a while I'll pop these blueprints. So I have all of these plate blueprints that I actually need to just sell. I don't make plates. I could probably make these ones if I had to. Um, those I could make one day. Those are tools. I mean, I don't know about that. This is all limited, like clothing and curtains and other random crap that I don't even know what the heck I'm doing with most of it. I probably should really seriously go through that. These are all weapons. These we're not trying to get rid of. See all this? These help. We land, we make stuff, boom, boom. That's helpful. Unless I don't know where I put all my limited stuff. I'm honestly not sure what book those would be in. Well, there's nothing wrong with the old stuff. I still use all kinds of crap. Um, one of my buddies, he has one of the pistols that's unlimited from like the good old days. I don't even know where the crap he got it. It's like super cool though. I actually like it. It's absolute. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily make it my main weapon, but it's old as crap style weapon. And I don't know where I got all this crap. Oh, has ever wondered what you're doing with some stuff? We were on Rocktopia or something like that. I think that's where I got that BAMF, whatever it is. Rocktopia likes to handle stuff. I'm pretty sure I have the nanocube blueprint on me, but maybe not. We'll find out when we're done with this. I might have left it on Calypso, to be honest. See this carpentry we're getting though? That's gonna slowly be nice. But the carpentry, that's gonna help with the furniture making later on. I really hope that when they switch to Unreal Engine, that the furniture making and stuff like that and the fancy clothes get much more popular. Honestly, the domestic engineering side of this game is not really it's not a big enough part of the game. And I'm not saying that it should be the full focus of the game because that's obviously not realistic at all, but it's almost not even used as much as there's so many options and stuff. You almost never see somebody sitting there and making the amount of stuff that I would have thought was going to be trading place in the economy. Oh, I agree. Straight up. They do not buy stuff that doesn't help them directly in their profession most of the time. The market, not all the time though. I sell some furniture stuff out of my store. Like once in a while, I'll make a fancy ottoman or like the little lanterns, weirdly enough, in my store and stuff like that. The lights and stuff when I put them on my shelves, those actually sell. It just um I don't ever make anything super overly expensive that's just decorative in this game for sure, because the amount of money people put into that aspect is super way lower. And they only need that stuff once. I mean, it doesn't deplete or anything. And so the market for the amount of people that are looking for specific things is super low. Like, super low. But yeah, the majority of this game is super focused and almost fully committed to guns or armor or things that are going to aid them into killing the next biggest whatever thing or mining the next biggest thing. You almost have to make something that's being burnt through at a high rate, like guns and stuff like that, in this game to actually move forward. Tools are good. Enhancers are super good for people that make enhancers. I don't make enhancers. Amps are good. Um, I make amps. Those sell pretty good. But the domestic stuff like clothing and textured stuff and yeah, that's brutal. That's hard to move up because it doesn't have the same market. So you can't just sit there making a whole batch of stuff, loading it into auction, and then getting on the next day and doing it again. Because you're lucky if the stuff sells at all. Straight up, you guys, I've made some super cool looking stuff that I thought, oh man, this is going to sell for sure, and burnt myself. Loaded into the auction and watched it literally get like a couple bits, nothing high, and like went for like pennies on what I thought it should have gone for. And so it just is. And then I've made the exact same thing for somebody on custom order in which they just want the freaking thing really bad and they pay the amount that is what it probably should be. And so I'm super super big time leery of crafting fancy items for the auction house. I don't like doing it. I don't ever feel on something like that I get the right price. That's actually a good idea. I probably could do that. But yeah, that's the way to go with all the decorative item stuff is to. And by the way, Arcadia, ridiculous decorative items. All the Japanese furniture or Asian style furniture and stuff like that, you get that uh, generated off of Arcadia, guys. And they're not hard to make at all. They're like easy as heck. And you get a whole bunch of cool like barbecue patio type stuff off of Next Island, just for the record. It's good stuff on. There's a whole bunch of good stuff. Do you guys know that there's like a gun safes and stuff like that off of Rocktopia? And there's actually firearms displays off Rocktopia for furniture. I don't currently have one of those blueprints, but I do know about it. And I know that if I went there and I sat there and ran a bunch of blueprint runs, I would probably get it pretty fast. I mean, within a few weeks. So by really fast for me in this game, it's like within this year or half a year. If we're within 6 months, it's fast enough for me. I'm not in a hurry or something. This is not a good game to be in a hurry, you guys. Much more of a good game to be a relaxed player. Oh yeah, no, I totally agree there. I need to someday make a list of items. There's insane amount of items in this game, you guys. Like it's much better than people think. It's just so many people are crafting the same crap that you see a very lot of the same kind of blueprints, but so much stuff doesn't even get ran that I have no idea what blueprints there really are. But just out of ones that I've seen by running random things, or ones I know that friends have got by running random things, there's crazy amounts of stuff in this game. I do want them to have limited clothes that deteriorate that do give some kind of advantage or boost, though. That would be a really good idea. And then consumable food. Just make it where all that fruit has one more use. You know what I mean? Can you imagine if they just had fermenters and you could just take a bunch of fruit from fruit walkers and ferment it and make some kind of wine, and the wine would have some kind of effect? That's what I'm saying. In fact, that would be an easy thing for them to add. Is just a fermenting device that could go inside somebody's house so you could make wine. That would be pimp. I would own an apartment if I could go and fruit walk and make, or I'd just buy the fruit, guys. Especially once somebody figured out what the market was. But say that wine only took like a bunch of fruit, some other random um, energy fluid liquid. You know what I'm saying? And you just put the stuff in your winemaker and poof, click, it refines into wine or something. I don't know. But I do want them to have consumables. And I think the same thing with an oven. I have the thing for an oven even, like a blueprint for an oven, so they could make really workable ovens. And honestly, the fridge should generate frickin' 6 eggs every day until it's depleted out, so that they have eggs for cooking stuff. That'd be nice. Honestly, now that I'm thinking it, they could add so much crap into this game, it would be insane. Hey, does anybody need one of these generic leathers? I just got another one. I could give you this, and then you could literally start your adventure in the wonderful world of crafting generic leather blueprints. Let's look at this. I also have a denim. I already have denim blueprints. What's the markup on that? I don't care about that markup. So if one of you guys needs any of this and you're on this planet, let me know. I would totally hook you up. So we're at least past the 1/3 mark at this point, and so a little bit over an hour and something left. So it'll go pretty fast, but it does take a chunk of time to get this kind of run done. By the way, it does look like we're doing pretty good because look at this. A third of the way done, we're setting a 6. That could literally be 18 blueprints. 18 drops of blueprints for this big of a run, I'd call pretty good. I mean, minus the fact that I have most of them. Um, I'll stack these limiteds, and if one of you guys is trying to get into doing this, I have some for you, so it'll be easy for you guys to get in. And honestly, because we still have 2/3 of the run left, there's a chance I get something I don't have. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's cross our fingers. I'd really like to get something I don't have. That's a canvas fabric that's limited. I already have, I'm pretty sure, a bunch of that. So that's, I guess, a good thing to a point. I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out at the end of the run. Okay, so I got some Tesla pod. So Tesla pod blueprint is absolutely a cool texture. This flannel, I'm pretty sure I already have this flannel. In fact, I'm totally sure about it, guys. Oh yeah, that's the wrong blueprint. Let's check this. Yeah, we already have that. I don't know where you guys are on your blueprint stuff, but if you're looking to try to get into texture, probably and on ancient Greece or something, this would be a easy way to do it right now, to be honest. Also, we just passed the one halfway mark. So the copper blueprint probably would look cool if anybody actually made it. Never actually seen it on some, but that's not enough cells per year, to be honest. Same issue with a bunch of these. Some of them are actually valuable. A bunch of them just don't sell enough to where you would feel comfortable or safe selling them. And so it's just a mixed bag. Hey, how are you doing, Peruch? I hope you're having a great day. We're slowly getting through this. I'm over halfway through at least, and honestly, got a pretty good stack of blueprints. Sadly, they are ones I already have, and so somebody was looking to get into doing this. I have your generic basic leather blueprint. I honestly really wish I was at 2K in carpentry, but on that that's pretty high. I don't even know if I need to actually be at 2K in carpentry, but I'd be able to make a bunch of furniture that way, like up to tier 4 furniture. That's pretty pimp. Okay, so this Triplodon, that's common too. I get that pretty much on every planet. Move over to this one. Honestly, I think you do get carpentry from cutting trees. Let me check real quick. Hold on one second. I'll check. I believe so there. There's the Terratech. It's probably where some of mine's coming from, honestly. Let's find out. Terratech. No. No, you don't get carpentry, guys. So you get stuff. Really? It kind of shocks me. Phil, you should get carpentry from woodcutting, though. So it says it's intelligence, alertness, athletics, dexterity, perception, geology, not genealogy, guys. Resource gathering, analysis, biology, botany, genetics, and zoology. But honestly, guys, I feel that you really should get some wood carving or carpentry, maybe. I don't know. Valid that you should, but no, you do not. You do, though, if you craft basic butt joints, by the way. You get crap loads. Basic butt joints, those will bust you out some skills. If you can actually afford to just sit there on a planet running basic joints or the Acer board or any of the boards and stuff like that, you'd just pump out stuff and you'd go up pretty fast. I just find that's a super expensive situation to be in. I've done it before. I got a crap ton of blueprints and some great skills, but it was super costly. And my coffee's cold enough now to drink without it being like WTF hot. You know what? When we get to Planet Toulon, I'm willing to do enough tree cutting to do a basic butt joint run. It's absolutely impressive. And I like some of the stuff I get off of Planet Tolan. I don't currently also have the blueprint for the spice boxes and stuff. And so that's something I'd be willing to do anyway. Um, I don't really know. This planet has a bunch of stuff. I have some of the blueprints from this stuff, but it's super expensive to do a giant run of basic butt joints. I don't even remember what it costs. It's absolutely better to just farm up the stuff yourself. I'll have to buy like several hundred pad in tree harvesters and just set their tree harvesting. Super expensive though. I don't remember what the cost is, but I've done a big run before. Deepwater did a giant run. I think he spent like 6 months one time on Planet Tolan just collecting up stuff. And then he did, oh, a large ribbon wool blueprint. Oh, that's the limited. Okay, I already have a bunch of that. We'll just keep stacking that. But basically, 6 months of wood cutting he stocked up and then made a massive run. I'm not even sure what all he got off of it, but a whole bunch of stuff for sure. I mean, like, I saw some of it because I was over at his house visiting and hanging out when he was actually doing the run. I just wasn't there the whole run because he was kind of just letting it go and we were BSing and watching it, and I was like, oh, that's a good amount of stuff. But 6 months of daily tree harvesting, guys, and I think he was only burning through 2 or 3 tree harvesters a day. Like just toot 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 skilling away, which is a good choice to do. And so like it was several months. I'm pretty sure it was 6 months that he did, but I'm not sure. You'd have to ask him exactly, to be honest. So I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to Tolan, and I'm gonna set on Tolan for I don't even know how long. I'm gonna hunt, shoot things, skill things, do the dailies, and pick up the crafty mission pretty much the whole time. And then after that, we'll I guess we have Rocktopia or something like that left. Actually, I already did Rocktopia, guys. After that, we're done with the solar system, and we pick some other blueprint and or just kill things, and that's you guys' choice. I don't even care. I'd do another blueprint though. Probably, in all honesty, though, it'll depend on what my ped situation looks like. But Probably one of the ones that'd be most handy for you guys to see, Rand, would be either one of the ones that generates weapon blueprints or just running the basic combustor. The basic combustor pops a crap ton of vehicle blueprints. And if you run a giant basic combustor run on Rocktopia, you often actually can make money. You just have to have big enough stacks of stuff to be able to like actually get enough of the vehicle blueprints to fly back and sell. Vehicle blueprints go for a good markup. They're not horrible. And in all honesty, I probably could do a vehicle blueprint run here and get some of those fancy skyboard looking things. I don't know what they're called. They remind me of the Green Goblin's little skyboard. You know what I'm saying? I like them though. This is flying through, guys, but let's see. We're at we're at 12 right now, huh? Okay, so far we have a dozen blueprints. I'm gonna let you guys know I'm really excited about tooling. I'm gonna probably be there for a second because the fact is we can get that machinery daily, and I can actually rack that up. But you guys know that there's a coloring uh, mission there, and coloring is super important to me, like super important. So I can make some fancy stuff, but can you guys imagine if I even had up to like level 25 as a colorator? I would be able to make some super fancy stuff, like insane fancy. And in all honesty, I am super looking forward to the new engine because the high graphic stuff might actually make some of the stuff a little more valuable. I don't know if it'll really affect things or not, but my crossing my fingers to hope that cool looking stuff is more valuable is going on. I would really like a better market for just stuff that was aesthetically nice looking, and there's not really the greatest market on that. Oh, wait, this could be a new blueprint, but guys, check this out. Coarse freezy fabric. Let's check. I might have a new one. I might already have this. Yeah, I already have that. Okay, we can just hope. I do get new blueprints, you guys. Honestly, maybe we need to save up and actually do a round the universe thing on a tier 4 blueprint. Try to really go for something new. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. As we move up in tier, often the blueprints are much more expensive. And in all honesty, I do try to balance my channel on, hey, how much does this cost me to produce these videos a little bit? I don't do a perfect job on it, but I literally do try to balance it slightly. Well, is there some specific type of, hey, I really wanted to know what kind of stuff pops from this? Because I can tell you the blueprint that you use to pop a bunch of the tools, and I don't pop tools all the time, it's just the gyro flap. You can just go and run a giant run on that gyro flap, guys, and you will get a crap ton of random tool blueprints. And the thing is, there's something like that for everything. I've been kind of messing around from like pioneer gloves to like little things that like you wouldn't think did much. They actually aren't that great as an item, and but they're super cheap, like two materials to run, and so you can just run a crap load of them. Well, it turns out that lots of those kind of things, they put huge, huge lists of drops. And the thing is, though, it's not often complete sets. Like, especially with the armor. I noticed that on a couple things, it looks like almost the full set comes off of this one, and the rest of the set looks like it comes off of this one, and stuff like that, where you'd have to actually run multiple runs of a couple different blueprints to probably get a full, complete, awesome armor set up to craft. It's one of the reasons I didn't think that it was a good idea to try to get all up into the armor deal. Plus, there's already some super good armorers, and I'm not trying to compete against them. And I already have some armor, but I'm going to tell you, armoring is freaking tempting. There's lots of money in it. People love it. You got all the plates and stuff. People are always freaking looking for armor. They're legit. It's a interesting I feel thing to do. But those enhancers, crap. And I'm not gonna go become an enhancer engineer, guys. I don't even bother with that because that's its own little thing, and I'd have to invest crap tons of money, time, and effort, and it would dilute me from what I'm already working on, which is enough stuff to dilute me. But if you guys look, think of how many enhancers sell. Just crazy amounts. And that's absolutely not a hard thing to get into. I mean, I'm not going to jump into it, but you can be selling enhancer level ones by right off the bat pretty much, and those pop the other enhancers. So like I've ran a batch of ranged enhancers before. It's not my cup of tea necessarily because I'm not all stacked out on it, and I really do think it would be wasteful for me to dilute out too much. But if I were starting clean as crap, I might would be considering enhancers as one of my things right off the bat. Yeah, it is all interesting. That's the problem. It's like a big temptation to just go in 5,000 different directions, in which if you do that, you never progress. Like, honestly, I watch your mining stuff, uh, and holy crap, right? I watch everybody. Well, not your mining stuff. I watch the mining stuff, and um, I mine to a point. I get everybody confused. Some people, somebody that watches mines like crazy, and I can't remember who it is. They mine big time, and I watch their thing sometimes, and it's insane. Like they hit it, but they only mine, so they're super pure, like super pure, and they have super good equipment, and it tempts me. It really does tempt me. But I literally am good enough to mine for specifically what I mine for. But I'm gonna let you know if I ever got like slowly up more and more. Weapons and enhancers 100% works. Think about it. You just buy a booth somewhere and you throw some enhancers and your weapons right down there and you'd sell right and left. Weapons and enhancers work. The other thing is tools and the boosters for tools, the little attachments. Attachments and tools sell right and left next to each other. And I do a little attachment tool making. Not like hardcore. All my stuff's lower tier, guys, on attachments and tools. On weapons, I can do some mid tier stuff, you know. But I'm going to tell you what, if you're making enhancers and armor and enhancers and weapons, you actually probably are killing it. Like, especially if they're high level. Like, the guys making Perseus armor and like B plates and stuff like that are probably not doing too bad. I would also point out that that represents a very lot of investment and work that they've probably done to get there. And so it's not like they just woke up one day and they're like, I think I'm going to start making Perseus armor. And if they did, they have frickloads of money, and good for them. I'm glad they're doing so well. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a just start doing. That's something I would actually think would be cool is to have a complete set of ancient Greece armor, though, blueprints. I think those would be low enough that I could actually make them if I wanted to. I'm going to see if there's some blueprints in here for some ancient Greece armor at the end of this. We'll also look at that nano cube. Because we only have 250 clicks left. I think it's like 30 minutes is what probably that is. I don't know. Something like that. No, not 30 minutes. Not at all. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. 20 minutes. Yeah, so you know what I'm really wanting them to do, though? Is I'm wanting to make all the vehicles customizable. Like all of them. Not just some of them. But all the quad wings. Can you imagine? And I know maybe that won't be a big deal, but I really do feel that textures and stuff like that and colorator dudes would have a whole lot more business if we could all customize everything. Yeah, hunting and mining is really a safe zone to be in. Plus, you skill easy. And it's not as. Like, I really do feel like crafting is super grindy in this game. Oh, yeah. No, if you're not having fun, you should change your playstyle immediately. I agree. Like, straight up, games are actually based on the fact that you're having fun. I, uh, I don't play games once I'm not having fun. I've already played games into the ground that I super liked, and I don't play them anymore just because I stopped having fun in them. I still thought they were an amazing game, um, but I can't. force myself to just pretend to play a game just because um, of anything. It's not worth it for me. I actually like to like what I'm doing, and so this game I like. Um, I really like 76 right now. I'm starting to have a harder time finding ways to make it a challenge for me, which is, it is what it is. Um, but in the meantime, I'm kind of waiting for other games to come out and stuff. I really did look at Diablo 4, and I'm super unsure. I mean, like, legit, guys, I'm not sure on that. It looks like a fun game. I played Diablo 2, like, into the ground. Like, into the ground. And so I don't know what I'm thinking about that. But I like a game to be fun, and I'm okay with playing different games. I don't need to just play the same game. I'm not that worried about it. I'd rather look at more games over the years. Entropia, I plan on playing into the super long term future though. Like not like normal. Like most games, guys. I actually realistically know that most games, about 150 videos in and stuff like that, I start running out of things to cover. Oh, straight up, that's such a good strategy. So that's the deed strategy. Yeah, good for you. Straight up, I know a dude that's done super hardcore on the deed strategy. Actually, more than one. In which I really did invest too much in gameplay at first and aggressively attacking the game, and I didn't buy the amount of deeds I should have. I've literally seen what it does if you buy money in, buy deeds, and then you just like, or you know what they did actually for a long time? They actually were free to play for a while, and they actually worked up some deeds on their own. And then when they started depositing and stuff, they literally would deposit, and I think they were depositing like $50 a paycheck in ammo. And then they would go and hunt the whole 50 ped in ammo. And when they were done with their hunt, they would take all the junk and stuff like that, or not 50 ped, $50, so 500 ped in ammo. And they would sit there and they would take and turn their junk into more and more deeds. And they just kept doing that. And then all of a sudden they had a crap ton, and then they traded those in for those CDLs. And then after they had several CDLs, they just kept doing it, kept doing it. They still do that to this day. Like every time they get a paycheck, I think once a week they put $50 into the game in ammunition. So he's killing it, hunter wise too. And then on top of that, every bit of that money goes directly into deeds at the end of his hunt. And so, legitimately, he's been doing that for years. When we were visiting the other week, I know for a fact that he's pulling in per week a lot of pad. Like enough pad that other people would see. I have another generic texture. Another generic lecture for you guys, or texture. Which one is it? Who knows? But if any of you guys are wanting to get a generic leather texture, I have two of them. I would be more than happy to hook you guys up so you guys could get started on this. But yeah, straight up, he makes more than 100 pad every week in just his deed money for sure. And I think it's actually more than that. And if you think about that, that's more than $10 a week. Uh, I think there's what 52 weeks in a year. That's $520 a year at minimum that he's getting off of deeds in a video game. I know that sounds ridiculous, but yeah, legitimately, he just $50 a week, blah blah blah, ammunition, buys deeds. He has videos on it, you guys. They're on YouTube. It's Deepwater right here. He's not on right now, but he's Jasper Shots on YouTube. But he's straight up. He has good videos on this game. You guys got to know all your people. Like DM Zone, he absolutely covers the crap out of this game, free to play style. Jasper Shots, honestly, he kind of plays this game kind of like aggressively. If you guys want to see a more aggressive style of approaching it than even me, because I don't really deposit $50 a week. In fact, I very rarely deposit. Like I did deposit $30 today, in which that I'll recycle through over the entire month, likely, just out of reality. And so, but he aggressively does it. He's like $50 ammunition every week, shoot the crap out of everything, turn it all into deeds. And I'm serious, legit, that guy's a grinder. Absolute grinder. Like, before I played this game, I played Guild Wars and stuff with him. And honestly, me and him teamed up sometimes in PUBG. That's a old school PUBG Mobile. Sometimes I miss that game. Like I don't miss the whole like having to have my stuff on a 2 minute delay to not get screen sniped and all the other weird stuff. But I did actually like joining up with teams like squads and going and wiping other squads or people out. I thought that was fun. Just super competitive, super competitive. Oh my gosh. Thank you for letting me know I'm muted. Because I was saying some stuff there. I was letting you guys know that this game's like a crazy girl where sometimes it's all sweet and lovey and nice to you, but then sometimes it's brutal. I actually said a lot of stuff, but you guys will just have to wonder. Basically, it was a complaint slash compliment slash blah blah blah. No, I never take private calls. Cherry Kush, though, is a good name and a good strain, by the way. It's a 42.1 is what we got. That's a lot of different blueprints. I got my butt kicked, guys. Okay, so here's the deal. It's 120 ped in materials with markup. I got it slightly cheaper than we would have got it. But then on top of that, because I intergalactically ordered them here, paying 6 ped extra for each one to have it immediately arrive, it's 12 ped extra. So that's 132 ped. Literally, what are we down? 134 ped almost. I mean, not quite, but almost. I mean, not 100. 34 ped. I just add the 100 to it. And so 34 ped down, it's not horrible. It probably could get recovered if I was aggressive about selling some of these. Nah, it could not. Honestly, the generic leather blueprints, the textures right here, I'll show you them. They don't add up to enough to cover what we're looking at. It's like maybe that's 99. That guy shouldn't have sold it at that. Honestly, he should have got at least 5 ped for it. These should be 5 ped. I'm not going to sell them. Oh yeah, this game is straight up a relationship. It's massively like emotional trauma. Yet sweet and nice. Everybody loves it. It's absolutely built for grinders. So I got a good amount, but we did get our butt kicked. There's no way I would recover, but I'm okay with that. I did not get any new blueprints. I would have liked them. Next week on Monday on our crafting day, we'll do the Elysium. On Thursday, I might just hunt the crap out of stuff here on ancient Greece. I do want to show you what I'm talking about though here on the nanocubes real quick. So this is what I'm talking about. So I feel that these things are ridiculous. And you know how it's always like there already are consumable boosters that are craftable and stuff. Just most people will never see them. This is an electronic blueprint. It's tier 7. Um, it obviously takes a crapload of stuff. It's 6 ped. It literally burns out in 24 seconds. So you've got no time at all. So for 24 seconds, you burn 6 ped. It does all of this stuff, including 100% skill gain, blah, blah, blah. Um, I don't know who even uses something like that. Like, let's see, does it have the markup on something like that? Somebody has sold one before and it sold at 380 something. They sold 414 ped worth of these nano things. I'm not trying to make them right now. I kept it. Look at all the stuff we have to put into this, guys. This isn't a joke. I mean, I have all these things. We could make these, honestly, but I have never made one to this amount yet. Um, I'll show you what I am going to make though while we're here. The issue is I'm not finding the stuff. Is it a toga or a tunic that we have? Tunic. So I'm going to make one of these while I'm on this planet. Nobody is selling minotaur legs. I haven't got a chance to really hunt minotaur legs yet. Let me see, maybe somebody flew minotaur legs back to Calypso. No? No. Okay. Maybe next island. So nobody's selling minotaur legs. That's an issue, guys. I would like to make one of these fancy things. It's customizable with texture, not with color. And so that's okay. But I think it has multiple color or texture zones, like this belt area, blah, 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 stuff like that. I don't know. Oh, I did want to show you this too, because I told you guys that there was a whole bunch of furniture people don't know about. So I'll show you this crap. This is insanity. So you've got shelves. You guys might know about these pop all kinds. All the boards pop stuff, guys. There's displays. There's these Shinji, whatever the heck they are, these walls. I've got the ones with the doors too. They're actually cooler. Retail shelves and stuff like that. There's display shelves. Wicker tables. I'm pretty sure this is a Next Island one, this wicker table stuff. I like that one. More boards. Those are from Arcadia, all the board stuff. That's some kind of desk lamp we don't really care about. That's some kind of table. More wicker furniture, patio stuff. There's kitchen stools. I think that's all deco type stuff we don't really care about. So there's a whole bunch of this stuff, right? The stuff that's interesting that people don't know about. This is a pretty fancy coffee table, by the way. It's customizable with textures. This is a fancy bench. This is the thing I called I don't remember what I called it earlier when I said I'd throw one of these into the thing once in a great while. The thing is, they don't get the markup they should. You see, nobody hardly needs one. It's very fancy, you know what I'm saying, if you had a house. A lot of people don't own a house to put something like that in. These things actually sell. Weirdly enough, I sell those out of my little store a lot. I'm pretty happy with those selling. Um, this would probably sell. I've never made one and sold it, to be honest, guys. This is a fancy table, though. You got your kitchen drawers. These are customizable, so you can deco it out so somebody with an actual house can have a sink. Where's my sinks? I have the kitchen drawers, the sink somewhere in here. I've got this Tammy thing, which is I don't know what the crap a Tammy is. Tatami. I don't honestly not really sure what that is. Something fancy though, guys. Let's look. Dining chairs, stoves, cook stuff. Oh, here's a refrigerator. Look at that crap, guys. See, they need to create use for this stuff. There's really, honestly, it's cool stuff. But I would like it if there was more of a use. Here's a shelf. I don't know what shelves are really for at this point, but if you guys wanted one. I'm going to show you one of the things, though, that I only have a single. This luxury proof. This is off of Planet Tolan. So a whole crap load of these are off of Arcadia, Planet Tolan, and I did do a furniture run on Next Island, and that's where I think some of this wicker stuff is from. I'll show you something fancy, fancy though. I think I only have one of them though. Okay, not the wicker chair, not permanent stuff, not this coffee table. I think coffee tables are cool. Some of these are boosted, you guys, too. So I have a bed somewhere in here. Ah, this thing. So this bed is worth a good markup. I should probably make one of these. This is super fancy right here, guys. Houses are freaking super expensive. I agree, but look at this fancy, fancy bed. So I'm hoping all of this stuff becomes much more popular once the whole, it goes to the new engine and there's more reasons to get stuff. Because here's the reality, you guys. If you check out the textures, right, and if you combine textures in with maybe, um, what would you call it? because I've got 12 pages of textures. We can look at some of these. There's some super cool ones. So there's everything from wooden floor textures that you could make, for the floors and stuff like that. There's all the normal like materials and stuff like that, including really cool ones that you could probably make better clothes than most people have, to be honest. I'm not disrespecting people's clothes, but there's like literally just there's way more options than I've seen people having, guys. And some of the stuff is fancier than what people have. Like this ancient Moroccan stuff is fancy. Uh, Honestly, this oxidized Listerium, you just make something look junky if you wanted to. I think this knit wool is probably fancy on some things, but not really anything I want to make right now. This one uh, is fancy. People like that. Um, you don't see that on a lot of things. All the tree stuff, there's a wood floor for everything, guys. Satin, it only looks cool once it's on something, so that's not really helpful. This one's fancy as crap. This one's a planet tooling one, guys. Look at that. It's gonna look cool as crap on stuff. It always does too. Okay, so we'll get to some really nice ones. This reddish pink one, most people don't know about this one. You got to save up stacks on that one. Um, and this is the daisy one. This is cool as heck too, by the way. You don't see people wearing any shirts or anything with that. Oh, here's the Queen of Hearts one. You never see that one either. Diamonds is right there. That's boring. This is that I don't know if this is Scottish, Irish, somebody. If you guys wanted that. Sunburst, it's a good blueprint, but not really cool looking. Probably should help them document some of this stuff. They don't have this documented, guys. Can you believe this crap? We don't even know what this would look like. I can't do it yet, so I'm not willing to go make the run. That's the cougar one. I don't have what it looks like either. Or the Hendrix dragon. Look at this. Jory's pretty cool looking. Look at this. That's not bad looking texture. Honestly, I don't even know where these Oompa Warhounds are. Never seen one. Osprey looks actually cool. On stuff, this is metal. That's off of Arcadia. That's going to look okay on stuff. Yeah. Vita could. Kaz, this looks good on stuff, guys. Look at this. I know you guys aren't that excited about that. I've seen people with this, by the way. That's a. Um, Basically, there's a lot of options from tree dragons to random other stuff. I'm trying to find the ones I actually like. This purple crystal is cool, but perpite actually looks cooler. We'll find perpite in here. There's the red rose texture. This thing, I'm surprised people don't want way more often. It's super fancy. I made only one item with this texture so far. It kind of shocks me that people don't want that more often. This is the paint that you can make. Pops on this planet. This plastic texture looks super cool on some stuff. I've seen somebody that had that on a item. Uh, Baby jellies, stuff like that. That's not that exciting. Here's cool. This looks pimp. I put this on a cowboy hat for somebody. That looked fancy as heck. This looks like foam, honestly. I don't know what to do with that, but I have a big stack of that. This is a nice texture too. Look at that. Cow spots. Fancy. But it goes on and on. Basically, there's just a huge amount of good stuff. This Dark Listerium, it looks fancy as crap on stuff. Let's look over here. I want to show you my favorite one here. I told you the copper looks okay, but you never see it put on something. If this is actually put on stuff, it actually does look neat. It's not shiny like I think it should be. Tesla pod is the coolest one though, guys. And this is just my opinion. I can't tell you it's actually the coolest one. I can just show you it and let you guys decide that it's the coolest one yourself. The thing is, I have to be a 28th to 34th level texture to throw this on stuff. This would look so freaking cool on something. This one, this is a this planet texture, guys. You just go out, get a bunch of this hellite, a bunch of perpite, and some stone, and you can just bust a crap load of this out. Look at that. This is 300% markup. This is excellent cut. It looks good on stuff. I put that on all kinds of things. Not really sure if Terp looks good. Okay, well. The rest of these, Mosaic's kind of fancy. Mosaic's super fancy. 21st level to 25th level. That kind of sucks. I think this one looks like Indiana Jones stuff. At one point when I first started, guys, I wanted to get some kind of jacket that was and a hat that was kind of Indiana Jones-ish and throw this on it. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but Indiana Jones, when I was younger, pimp is crap. Let's see. And you guys know I'm missing a crap load of these. I don't even have them all by far, so looks like I need to combine a bunch of them though. So that's basically where we're at. We got a bunch of stuff. On Thursday when we come back, I'm going to actually try to already have some kind of motif that's more ancient Greasy. I'll probably get us a sword or something. Maybe I'll find some ancient Greece style clothing. I don't know. But we'll be hunting ancient Greece. Real quick, I'm going to attempt to find somebody that is streaming Entropia Universe. I always like to try to do that. Also, man, do any of you guys need one of those generic leather blueprints? Because I'd be more than glad to help one of you guys get hooked up with starting on your adventures in crafting. Okay, so I'm looking through this. Let me check. I was trying to find somebody that's playing Entropia, that's newer, that just needs a little bit of love thrown on them. You know what I'm saying? But as I look through people, often um, they're not actually playing. Oh, thank gosh. I always like when somebody's actually playing. Hold on 1 second. I'll always check that stuff right beforehand. Super excited for the new version to come out, by the way. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. Have a great day and peace and very best wishes.